if I hadn't married Doug, I would still be pursuing my music, definitely. I would probably be, still involved in acting and, learning that. And, but yeah, I probably would be down the same path that I am now. But I wouldn't have been blessed with this gift of, great success so early on.
You're fired.
They are all that is man. This is the morning stream.
All right. We're back, everybody. Hey, what's up?
That woman right there, she's what, an ASMR superstar or something?
No, it was, what's her name? This is a big throwback. Remember the guy that married the dude, and he was 54 and she was like 17?
Yeah, the dude from Lost.
Yeah,
yes.
That was
right.
her. She was like
wow, we haven't heard from them in forever.
Yeah, and that's an old clip. I just dug it up from the archives, but I assume they're not married anymore, right? They're not together, right? There's no way.
I think now that the world stopped looking at them, they probably got divorced.
When people stop looking at them, I'm not even sure they exist, to be honest.
You're fired.
Okay, great. Let's get in here with Justin. What do you say about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, I just have to add him. And I'm doing it this time without showing the world the link that you get into to be a part of our call. Because I don't want to do that anymore. Instead, I show just my fat head. Now I show us again. And now I play a thing, which goes a little something like this.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program, the one, the only, the strangely attractive Justin Robert Young.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Wow.
How are
He's
you?
even wearing himself on his shirt. That's the shirt with the photo of that old woman that looked like Jury.
Yeah, the first bearded lady.
Yeah,
that's right.
What? The chat room, I don't know, has been graced with that, so I'm going to bring up a separate window to show them. But that's a fantastic thing. I wish somebody could find some ancient like that looked just like me. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, this Civil War guy looks a little like Scott. There's a passing resemblance. This lady, this bearded lady, is you in a dress, like straight up.
Specifically with the beard as it is now.
Yeah.
Like we have the same scraggly beard. Me and Annie, ride or die.
Well, meanwhile, everybody finds a bald person on the internet and says, "Hey, is that Brian?"
Yeah, no kidding. You get that a lot, even though it's never even close.
There have been a few that are like, "Wow, okay, that one kind of really does look like me." The one from this last weekend, I think it was was it Kansas City game? It was some football game, and there was a dude in the crowd that was wearing a funny hat
that looked like you. Well,
yeah, he was not the Kmart Brian Ibbett. He was the Rite Aid Brian Ibbett.
Oh, right. I remember that one. The one that was at the football game was kind of like you. That looked like you. Well, Justin, it's our pleasure to host you here on the morning stream as we do on Tuesdays. We talk about a whole panoply of issues, and last night I said, "Hey, what's your topic preference?" And it was kind of impossible for us to think of much else besides what's going on this week with this whole Kavanaugh deal. Now, we talked about it last week, and so I have some questions based on information that's arisen since we last spoke. Okay?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think we do have a lot to talk about. I mean, like the Rod Rosenstein thing was probably one of the funniest freakouts in recent memory, and probably one of the first in a long time that wasn't directly caused by Donald Trump. It was apparently him being so terrified that he was going to get fired that he offered to quit over the weekend, and then was so scared about it that he drafted a press release about him quitting, which then got to the press, and then the press started calling him, and so then he got more freaked out and went to the house thinking that he was going to get fired for leaking the fact that he was going to quit.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, just calm down, go home, like stop freaking out.
I didn't realize that it was. I guess I had it in my head that it was. So the claim was that he had said in some company or another that, and he has said since, and others have said, oh, he was just joking, but he had said something to the effect of, hey, we should do that 25th Amendment thing, or figure out a way to impeach the president, or
Right. So Friday, the New York Times puts out a big report based on the contemporaneous notes taken by the now fired Andrew McCabe of the FBI, that and then corroborated by, I guess, other notes and interviews from people in that circle, that Rod Rosenstein, A, suggested somebody wearing a wire around the president, and 2, trying to take a temperature of the room on who would be in. All right, just yes or no, informal, like just for laughs. What if we were going to organize a coup against the president and utilize the 25th Amendment to do it?
I've set up a straw poll online. Here, click this Bitly link, and
like just a goof, y'all. Like we're just joshing. Right? But if we were going to organize a coup against the president, utilizing the 25th Amendment, which requires the majority of his cabinet to say that he's mentally unfit to serve, Y or N. Anyway, check one, TTYL. So
like if you say yes, share if you don't.
Yeah, share if you don't. His defense has been that he was joking. There has been pushback from some of the other sourcing on that he was definitely not joking. Regardless, apparently the reason why he wanted to quit over the weekend and told Chief of Staff John Kelly that he was going to quit, or that he was offering his resignation, was that he doesn't want to testify in front of Congress about it.
Yeah.
So that would suggest to me that he probably doesn't want to answer questions about it, which means him going up in front of Congress and saying, like, for real? You thought that was serious? Joke's on you, dorks. I don't think that that's something that he wants to do. So that was the story on Friday. He doesn't want to testify. He offered to resign. Whether or not he actually is fired or resigns is a very important distinction, because it determines how the White House can replace him.
Right.
Just a totally insane poop show all throughout the morning that wasn't caused by Donald Trump. We used to have those.
Yeah.
And we had one again. It's like a rare treat from back in the day.
Well, the minute I heard that he was going to meet with the president, which I guess happened or is happening.
No, who, by the way, was in New York.
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to happen Thursday.
Then he'll offer to get fired or resign from John Kelly, who had apparently told him over the weekend, I can't do it. And also the chief, he's been talking extensively with Don McGahn, Donald Trump's counsel, who said, I can't accept that. This is way too politically charged for you to not do it right to the president. And the president's in New York.
Yeah.
So the president at the UN, and the president's like, we'll talk Thursday.
He doesn't,
by the way, is the same day as this hearing.
Yeah. He doesn't fire. For a guy whose catchphrase on TV was "you're fired," he doesn't really fire people. He doesn't like it. He will, if he's really having a meeting in there, that's not a meeting to fire him. That's a meeting where it'll feel like he's not fired, and then someone else will do it.
I feel like he does fire people a lot. At least he did. Maybe during the first year, it seemed like people were
getting fired. He's not firing them, though.
The book on him, the book on him is he does not like interpersonal conflict.
Gotcha. Okay, so
it's more likely when you are eyeball to eyeball and you offer your resignation, his initial instinct is to say, no, I need you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you've come and shown. I mean, I think no matter what you think of him, I don't think that there's any real way to look at Donald Trump other than he finds loyalty paramount, and loyalty is built on, we need each other. I'm coming to you in a moment of weakness. That is how loyalty is kind of forged.
It's a weird loyalty though, because he usually doesn't reciprocate, or there are plenty of examples where he doesn't reciprocate that loyalty.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think in general, politicians are probably, you have to kind of make your own little mafia coven if you are going to ascend to the highest office of the land.
Yeah.
It is a treacherous and perilous journey for which all of your hunting party will be tempted by riches and all manner of temptation.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of have a tight circle. Part of the reason why there's so much chaos is that he doesn't have a tight political circle. I think he has a fairly tight business circle. You hear a lot about his phone tree at the end of the night. He just gets on, he lies probably on his belly with his feet,
his legs up in the air, yeah, right.
Twirling the phone cord, talking to all of his buddies. But other than that, yeah, but I think like he doesn't have a tight political circle, which is why he had to pull in people that were, scratch and dent replacement parts like Paul Manafort and to be honest, Mike Pence, who prior to being the vice president was the guy who screwed up the Indiana pizza fiasco. Like that's how like his political career exploded on the launch pad because he couldn't handle that. Was it pizza or cake? I can't remember.
Oh, it was cake. The people that wouldn't make cake for the gay couple.
Was cake right in Colorado or was cake in?
Cake in Colorado. Yeah, the cake was here.
It was pizza in Indiana.
Oh, I didn't know it was pizza.
I'm having a hard time keeping my gay.
Somebody wouldn't make pizza for a gay person?
Yeah.
Boy,
I know. That's
what's this world coming to?
It makes me angry. It makes me angry because pizza's the best thing, and that's really rude. We shouldn't do that to people.
I can't remember exactly what the details were, but like that was something that where it's like Pence was. I remember when we first started PX3, I was getting emails from somebody that was in Indiana saying, "Hey, you're talking about all these people that are gonna win the GOP nomination. Keep your eye on Mike Pence. Mike Pence is gonna be the guy who's got it going on." And then in like 2 weeks later, he couldn't maneuver the gay pizza fiasco, and that was like just kind of a wrap because it's like if you can't deal with that in a way that can make everybody happy, I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, he did that. Chat room reminds me, Jay Calhoun. He passed something that was like a religious freedom law. I think it was tied to that pizza thing. And then was declared unconstitutional like immediately by all the courts.
That was it. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, but that's why I think there's been a lot of chaos throughout the Trump White House. Is that you have remember his first chief of staff was Reince Priebus, who literally his job was trying to keep Donald Trump from being president for a year.
Yeah.
And he failed, and then he had to deal with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's like, "You're great. Want to be my chief of staff?" And he's like, "Cool."
Yeah, and then there's some fun stories with him as well. But all right, that's all well and good. My favorite thing this morning was a headline and a recording of Trump's UN speech, saying there's never been a president in the first 2 years of office who has accomplished the things that we have ever in the history of our country, and people laughed in the U.S. Council. I don't think he was expecting that reaction, or if he was, he's probably fuming about it now. But a bunch of country representatives, like straight up,
I think he
laughed.
played it off. He certainly fanned it a little bit in the like I didn't think I was gonna get that reaction, but okay.
Yeah.
We've got another laugh.
What reaction did you think he was gonna get? You can't. You make a statement like that is complete garbage statement that is not true in any sense.
I mean, also, I have no idea how that process operates. You have half the people in there that don't speak English that are getting things translated into their ears in 2 seconds later. So who knows? I mean, it doesn't shock me that there's a bunch of people at the UN that would laugh at Donald Trump. There are many people in many places that would laugh at Donald Trump. Yeah. But I don't know. It's the UN, man. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? It is the UN. You're right. All right.
It's a really tough audience.
It is a tough crowd. So all that being said, the other part of the current circus is this Kavanaugh deal. Yeah. And since we last spoke, there have been additional people coming out saying, hey, he was a problem in college as well, and here's what I saw, and here's what I witnessed, and a big freak out on both sides of, oh no, another one, this means this has to be, you can't vote yet, you must investigate, and the other side going, it's a smear campaign, blah, blah, blah. All the things you expect, that's all going on. And then yesterday, this is the one I really want to talk to you about. Yesterday, that Andavetti, or whatever his name is, the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, that guy.
Yeah,
claims
Avenatti.
Yeah, Avenatti. He claims he has
or as Tucker Carlson has coined him, the creepy porn lawyer.
Yeah, because all his clients are porn actresses. Anyway, I think he's a little weird too, but I have my own reasons. But anyway, that guy says he's got a new client that will, in the next day or so, come forward with a whole host of new accusations aimed at Brett Kavanaugh not having him be confirmed. I'm just curious what you make of all of that now that we're here. We started at the bottom and now we're here. What do we do? What's going to happen? What's your prediction? Because last week it was like, well, they've got the votes, so it doesn't matter. They've got the votes, but I don't know if they have the votes now.
I think if you were to do it today, you would still have the votes. I think Flake would probably drop, but I think Collins and Murkowski would probably still roll with it. And we're going to get to kind of a little bit more of the calculus in a second. But let's first talk about the accusations. We had 2 weeks ago, or what, a week and a half ago now, Dr. Blasey Ford, who was from nice.
Oh, you're watching the stream. Shoot, I was trying to play a little joke without you knowing. Okay, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So Dr. Blasey Ford was a came out and said that he pushed her onto a bed, tried to fondle her. It was a sexual assault and an attempted rape. There was another dude in there, Mark Judge, who was his friend in high school, who jumped on them twice, and on the second time she broke loose and ran away.
Right.
I said then that, and let me preface all of this by saying, in very clear terms, a 11th hour accusation in an all or nothing Supreme Court drawn totally on political lines nomination is a very bad place to have a nuanced conversation about sexual assault.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that it is the volcanic vents, the underwater volcanic vents, what that is to life. This is to a nuanced conversation that is representative of people's feelings about sexual assault.
Right.
So when I say that the problem with her accusation is such, what I don't mean is that you should not believe survivors, or that this stuff doesn't happen, or that this instance didn't happen, right? All I'm saying is that she didn't have a date and she didn't have a year. And if you don't have a date and you don't have a year, and the only other person in the room says it didn't happen, and the other person obviously is going to say it didn't happen, then at the 11th hour of an all or nothing drawn on political lines situation, then it is unlikely to put the brakes on it. However, and I said on the day that the first Ronan Farrow thing came out, before we even knew her name, before we knew whether or not she was going to testify, I said, if another comes out, now we have a 2x multiplier.
Right.
Because once is a claim you can roll through, 2 is a trend, and that's what we got on Sunday night. Another instance, this one not quite as sinister as the idea of an attempted rape, but certainly gross sexual conduct, wherein he, in his freshman year at Yale, during a beer dorm party, put his penis in the face of another freshman.
Right.
And she pushed it away and accidentally touched it. She then said that this was something that was not only deeply upsetting to her in the moment, it was deeply upsetting because she is a devout Catholic and didn't want to touch a penis until she was married.
I don't want to accidentally touch prep boy penis. Accidental penis is the worst. Nobody wants accidental penis.
I agree. I think reach across the aisle and come to that conclusion.
You didn't complain about Mitt.
Yeah, that's true. When I accidentally brushed against Mitt Romney, I didn't really complain. All right.
So that was the claim on Sunday. What Avenatti is saying, and he said this on Sunday as well, that he has another person that's not Deborah Ramirez. She's the Yale freshman, or then the Yale freshman. Now she's a woman. That he has another client that is going to come forward in the next few days that will have another story. And specifically, it seems linked to basically the Georgetown prep in the early 80s culture, which is effectively a bunch of rich kids in the 80s at a private school acting like what you would imagine a bunch of rich kids in the 80s at a private school have acted like in every movie that features rich kids in the 80s.
Basically, Good Will Hunting, Scent of a Woman. Yeah.
Sure. Well, worse than that, it's more like Revenge of the Nerds or what's a better one? I can't think of a good example. But all those guys, the guys you hate, the blonde guy who pisses you off in the Karate Kid, it's those guys.
Played by James Spader or
yeah, and their dad gives them a BMW for their birthday, just all that stuff.
So that's the thing there. Now, this is not a situation where I feel anybody is required to have any kind of context or to rein themselves in. The point of all this is for everybody to be whipped up into such a all or nothing berserker furor, because from the very beginning with the Kavanaugh thing, the one thing I told everybody was that this only ends if it becomes an absolute Wild West, swinging from the chandeliers, poop literally hitting a literal fan, crazy town insanity fest. And that's where we are now. So, do I think Kavanaugh will be a Supreme Court justice? At this point, like I said before, it's unlikely the more people that come out. Now, he did damage control last night, went on Fox News, said that none of this was true. And furthermore, in reaction to Avenatti's claim that he should be asked under oath whether or not he encountered any, and this is a quote from Michael Avenatti, any trains, quote unquote, that's a direct quote, or this is, I guess, his terms, gang rapes of women. He said that not only is it not true, but he was a virgin through high school and a virgin for many years thereafter.
Yeah.
He doesn't get specific, even when pressed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he declined to say how long many years were, which makes me think it might still be an unbroken
But his quote of "I never had intercourse or anything close to it," during any of that time, it's conceivable. But his yearbook is crazy, filled with stuff that.
Right.
I'm not saying that everything you see in a yearbook is like hard evidence, but I am saying that FFFF one that I've now been schooled on what it means. And then the other one with...
that's what Avenatti says it means.
Well, yeah, okay, fine. But my point is, like, and the other one, the alumni of the girl they all said they slept with, him and all his friends, he claimed to be one of them. And at the end of the day, it was just, I just lightly kissed her at the end of a party or something. I don't remember or whatever. This is all fine. All I'm saying is, if one more person comes out and they've got credible claims, what are you going to do? You can't vote for him. You just start over. Go find another judge. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
Go find another one.
That's all right. So let's get into those other vectors. So Murkowski and Collins are really the big players here. They are fringe votes. They are as pro-choice as it gets on the GOP. They like Kavanaugh and Kavanaugh's answers to them privately on whether or not he would immediately overturn Roe versus Wade if given the chance, because that is obviously the issue at stake, considering what the makeup of the court would be with another conservative justice on there.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't like another justice. They thought that the answer that other prospective justice gave was not something that they liked, and they were very critical, very openly.
Who, Gorsuch?
That other justice is Amy Coney Barrett.
Oh.
She's a woman. And if you are going to put somebody else up for nomination after we spend 2 weeks discussing whether or not a train is a gang rape or whether or not the FFFFF 4th of July means indeed find them, French them, finger them, F them, and forget them, then a woman would be somebody optically that you would want to promote, and yet Murkowski and Collins, and I think probably anybody for whom Roe versus Wade is in a very important case, might be less pleased that Amy Coney Barrett would be on the Supreme Court. Because again, this is not just a job. This is a job for life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but well, all right.
So okay. So I mean, like, I guess here's the reason why I say that is because when you're like, oh, well, they can't vote for her, right?
Yeah.
Like, or sorry, they can't vote for him if there's somebody else. What they're thinking is not only do I think Brett Kavanaugh's a awful person, or do I even believe that all this stuff happened? It's also, do I want to be the person that puts on the Supreme Court justice that overturns Roe versus Wade? And I don't think he's necessarily going to do it out of ideology, but I kind of do think this lady's going to. And if this lady is going to be the person that will have the momentum going forward after Kavanaugh flames out, then this is my choice. It is not boo this guy. It is, do I want this lady?
Right. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know how it's going to go. It's going to be, well, we haven't had anything like this since Anita Hill, really, as far as people's interest in watching this thing and seeing how it all goes down. And I guess we don't know.
That was a pubic hair on a Coke can.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy, right? But
well, and that was also adults. It was a direct superior, being gross and impeding the career of somebody else and of a subordinate. There are differences to it. And by the way, there's nobody remembers Harriet Myers. Harriet Myers was somebody that was up and got spiked, and then I forget whether or not it was either Samuel Alito or John Roberts that got the position when George W. Bush was putting people in there. So
yeah, the last time I remember anything other controversial was Robert Bork, which was way.
Well, Bork literally got borked. Like his flame out was so ridiculous that he defined the term to get borked.
Right. Which is awesome. I was reading up on him yesterday, and I've forgotten he died, but some of that history is very fascinating. But like Neil Gorsuch, who's now on the court, who just got nominated, we're 6 months from that or something? That just sort of happened, and no one thinks about it. Like, it was just a thing. You did it. He passed muster, and they got him in. So push Kavanaugh to the side, this freaking frat, dirty little wiener out kid who got drunk too much.
I do think that if Gorsuch if it were reversed, Gorsuch would have faced far more criticism, and who knows whether or not it would have been this criticism. But I think he would have faced a tougher test, because this is was a surprise. Yeah. No one thought that Kennedy was definitely going to retire off the bench. This wasn't a death like it was in the case of Scalia.
Right.
So this is a tipping vote.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, just get somebody else. I don't want to hear Hatch talk anymore is my main thing. I freaking hate him so bad. He sucks. I hate my senator.
Right. Why do you have, Orrin Hatch is like, this is like his new skateboarding grandpa phase.
I hate the skateboarding grandpa phase.
Why do you hate the skateboarding grandpa phase?
I don't have
Orrin Hatch? Now he plays Pogs and he's talking to you about, he's telling people he's going to snatch their wigs, and it's lit, fam. And
if all of those things were true, I might like him a little more than I do.
Would you rather listen to Mitch McConnell than Orrin Hatch?
No. I'm not saying I like McConnell. I'm saying I've got my own two senators who are kind of peckerheads.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they both kind of suck. And he's been in there longer than anybody. I'm glad he's finally retiring. Get the hell out of there. Let's get Mitt in there. Let's get Mittens in there, yo. Mm-hmm. Let's make it happen. It looks like it's going to happen. Anyway, all right. This is all good. Now, I'm going to guarantee Justin the following. He is now going to get to tell us anything he wants to about upcoming events, projects, cool stuff he's doing without any fear at all of me hanging up on him. In fact, he can hang up on me. I'm not doing it at all today.
It's your show.
I know.
It's your show.
I know.
You do whatever you want.
And that's
by the way,
yeah.
if you want to make it a stalemate, I'll just keep talking. Like, that's not a problem for me.
Oh, I see. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use as best judgment as possible. I'm going to be the judge today. And,
I'm going to say, if you like political conversation, go ahead to the freepoliticalnewsletter.com. And also, politics. This is a great time to be on that train. If you really like this kind of talk, you get 3 political podcasts a week by going to takepoliticsseriously.com and pledging at the $3 a week level. And if you're in the Bay Area, spend election night with me. We're going to be reviewing all the best commercials that have happened, and holy crap, have we gotten some amazing ones over the past 2 weeks. We're going to be reviewing all the gaffes, all the screw-ups, and we will have our own decision desk that will be announcing the actual results to the actual races at the Piano Fight Theater, 7 p.m. election night in lovely San Francisco.
Ah, that sounds really good. And they should follow you on Twitter, Justin R. Young, for details. And anywhere else they want to go, any place else they should go. Bye. I hung up on him, now he's gone.
I was desperately trying to see if I had the ability to hang up on him just to surprise both of you. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, as soon as he put his coffee cup to his lips the way he did, I was
exactly.
like, we're out of here.
Beside the profile view, yeah.
Yeah, I can't let that stand. All right, we have time for a quick mashup, if you're so inclined.
Sweet, yes.
These are, let's do Scott the Leaf Bee. Oh, this is probably when I grabbed the bee.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Spoilers, let people discover the Scott.
That's true.
The surprise ending of the story.
I really shouldn't be giving it away, so I'll let you guys decide whether you're entertained by this or not. This is Scott and the Leaf Bee. Enjoy.
Once again, pull up a chair as Scott and Brian share a story by the fire. What will they talk about today?
I want to share a story with you that happened to me yesterday.
All right.
And, you know, I like to jog. I like to get out there in the heat and get my workout on.
That's right, yes. I'm very good about that.
And so I'm out there and decided to go with the dog. So I have the dog with me, and she's doing great. We're out there doing it, and I've told you the story about how I was going around to some of the trees and the low-hanging dead leaves I would grab and crinkle up.
Right, you crinkle them up and then throw them on the ground.
Yeah, I would just kind of sprinkle it around like fairy dust, right?
Right.
And it's so tempting, I can't not do it. So I'm doing that, and I'm probably 5 or 6 trees down, and I'm on this path where there's like a ton of trees lining it all the way down. I'm like, yeah, dude, the mother load. So I'm just cranking along, and one of these looks like the greatest piece of low-hanging, crunchy fruit you've ever seen. It's a leaf that's kind of wrapped around itself, like in a cocoon almost.
Okay.
So I reach up and I grab it and I go crunch, and then I hear this. I hear this emanating from my hand. And I go, what the? And I feel something moving. I open my hand. There's, you know, shatterings of leaves all in my hand, and I look down. It's almost like slow motion, like I look down, and there is a giant hornet hanging out in there. That was like his little hangout, like lunchtime place or something.
My home this is.
Terrible food you have, or whatever. And knowing that hornets will sting you at will and just do it a ton of times, and sometimes their stinger doesn't fall out, so they sting you a bunch more. Like, all these things run through my head. I'm 8 years old again. Mm-hmm. I panic so bad with that hand, you know, the leaf in my hand. And here I am, in my 40s, jogging around, you know, and I see it, I open it, it's still sitting in there, but it's kind of flipping out like I hurt it maybe, or, you know, semi-crippled it. And then I kind of like slow motion just staring at it, and I can actually feel my hand shaking. And then it starts to take flight. Now, normally people just go, oh, just let it go.
I'm sure.
I went, ah! Like that. And I threw my hands in the air. I'm forgetting I even have the dog. I've got her retractable leash, you know? I toss that. Now it's doing like a vacuum cord when you hit the vacuum button. It goes... But she's being chased by the handle of the retractable leash, which seems to, you know, in her case, she's having her own psychosis because this plastic thing is just chasing her as she runs. It's not stopping. So I finally get her under control, get me under control. And then I look up and I look around and I notice there's a good 5-6 people doing various things within sight distance of what what I had just done.
Or any of them just like looking at you, holding up an iPhone or anything like that.
As far as I know, this did not make it to anybody's camera roll or YouTube or anything.
Oh,
I hope, man. Oh, look, if that turns up, all bets are off because I cannot imagine how stupid I must have looked. Well, there you go. Another story.
That's a great one. Yeah.
From the archives gathered by TMS Mashups on Twitter. Jamie does an amazing job. Good job, dude. I'd forgotten some of the details, like the dog getting chased. She does this. If I accidentally drop that retractable thing, she thinks the world's ending. She just runs from it.
It catches. It's always faster than her.
Yeah. She hates it. She's not a fan. Anyway, thank you for that. TMS Mashups on Twitter if you want to suggest to him stories you've heard in the past you'd like to hear earthed up and talked about again here on this show. If you've got a moment, go and give us a vote for the title today, everybody. Those who are here live, frogpants.showbot.tv. And if you are still on the fence about whether you like the show enough to support it monetarily, I've got good news for you. There's a link you can go to and make it easy. frogpants.com/TMS has all the links there. Or if you'd rather go direct, patreon.com/TMS and help us out.
Yes.
All right.
We're going to do our special Patreon only show probably after you get back from your trip.
Yeah. I should be.
'Cause I don't think it's happening before.
Yeah, let me think. So I just want to get this straight in my head. I leave Friday morning, so there's no PM.
Right. No AM on Monday.
No AM on Monday. I get home Monday afternoon sometime, probably later. And then Tuesday. I think Tuesday is the next time we're together. So it's like a week from today we'll be doing this. Unless I die in a fiery plane crash.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah, that could happen. So just looking forward to that. Not the plane crash, the getting back part. And
Wow.
And if you want to send in your thoughts and comments in the meantime, we can we'll hold on to your emails. We're happy to do it. themorningstream@gmail.com. All right, let's get out of here. Brian, you got a little deal there? Some kind of thing?
I do. This one is going out to Claky D. CLAKYD. I know I've seen that name in the chat room. I don't know Claky D's real name, but I do know that tomorrow is Claky D's birthday. 26th is my birthday, and I have an unhealthy love for Britney Spears music. Can you play Melanie Martinez's cover of Toxic? If not, any Britney cover would be great. Also, do you have any scooters?
Oh, man.
I know a while back you had a hard time finding our scooter.
Yeah,
ladies.
I can't find. So let's try what this one is.
We got scooters.
No. No.
We got scooters.
No.
We got scooters.
All I have is the little kid ones. I don't know where the old lady one is. I'll find
that
it.
second one, though, is the best one because we got daughters.
I know. It's almost like the kid ones are better anyway, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right. So a cover of Toxic by Melanie Martinez. Melanie Martinez, musician, vocalist, also appeared in one of the more recent seasons of The Voice. I don't know which one. I haven't watched that show in a while. But she does a great version. And it's kind of that, I guess this was back in 2012 that she was on The Voice and did this. There we go. That's the answer to my question. Here is Melanie Martinez and her cover of Britney Spears' Toxic.
Here it is. We'll see you guys next time.